Your wife is missing currently, or hasn't been seen for a day or two. Just let it go. What happened?
Why do you say I killed my wife?
Because she's dead.
This is Cassandritz B. Right now, officers suspect that he is responsible for murdering his pregnant wife and covering up every single trace of his crimes, but Cassandritz could care less about what he has done.
Oh, please. Prison.
You're eating cookies.
But with a growing mountain of evidence, detectives will slowly begin to uncover what exactly happened to 20-year-old Martine Bernard and the fact that she may never have been this monster's only victim.
I know you did not want to kill your wife. I know you didn't.
It's early June 2018 in Hollywood, Florida, and the family of 20-year-old Martine Bernard is growing increasingly concerned about their daughter. Despite the text messages they've received, she hasn't been seen in days, and her 22-year-old husband Cassandritz B's excuses are growing more absurd by the minute. When asked why she was only communicating through texts, he says she's just not talking right now, and the texts they do receive don't sound like Martine at all. So after she's a no-show at a family baby shower she'd never miss, the family decides to file a missing persons report. And if you think Cassandritz's vague excuses and shifting explanations seem suspicious, the police are thinking the same thing, especially after the horrific events of June 9th. Martine's mother, Eve Rose Bernard, was just stepping out of the shower while getting ready for a family event. But instead of finding her husband Roosevelt in the home, she finds Cassandritz, who claims he just left with an unknown Hispanic man. But when he fails to show up at the event, suspicion falls on the last person to see him alive, Cassandritz B. And just 2 days later, a body is found burned in a vacant field near the home. It's soon identified as Roosevelt, who authorities discover had been shot. Authorities place Cassandritz under surveillance and almost immediately observe him disposing of a trash can behind his apartment building. And when officers look inside, they find the remains of Martine Bernard. Cassandritz is immediately taken into custody, where he has no idea his wife's remains have been found, and the detective makes it clear from the start he wants the truth about what happened to Martine and Roosevelt.
The only thing I want from you, and let me make this straight from the start as well. I'm not going to play games with you. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to try to trick you into anything. Within the next few minutes, you're going to find out where I'm coming from, but quite honestly, you already know it. And it's your choice whether you decide to be honest with me. The only thing that I would ask is to not lie to me.
Okay.
And we'll figure out. I mean, there's a reason for everything. Things happen for a reason. Even though I've been at this for quite a while, sometimes I don't know those reasons. So this is just kind of a little bit of us trying to get to the bottom of this and sort out. And
Absolutely.
I don't want to make you into a bad guy. I don't know anything about you. I've never met you before.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been drinking this morning?
Have I been drinking this
Right.
morning? Well, I had just a little shot of it. Not this morning, but
What, last night?
yeah.
You seem pretty straight. That's what I mean.
I'm not drunk.
Okay.
I'm not under the influence at all.
Right.
You can test me.
No. You seem like just.
Yeah. I only drunk recreationally.
Okay.
Reason being is because if you can understand where I'm coming from, and I was extremely emotional about this because I took it upon myself to ask my wife, hey, listen, would you like to go see? Well, first of all, she didn't want to go to the baby shower. There was a baby shower that was arranged. She didn't want to go.
When was this?
A few days, like, what's today? Tuesday. This was supposed to be on a Saturday.
Okay.
So I asked her if she wants to go to visit her parents, and she chose not to. She just chose not to. And
This was last weekend?
This was this Saturday.
Okay, like 3 days ago.
So long story short, I was informed that detectives wanted to speak with me to, get an understanding of what's going on, and I was extremely compliant. I wanted to help.
Now, when was that?
Yesterday.
Okay.
And I felt as though, the conversation started well. We were talking, you asked me questions, I answered. Conversation was going well. And then at that point, at a certain point, I felt as though I was being accused, because the way they were explaining, the way they were speaking to me, it was as if the perspective I got was as if you're accusing me of being responsible for that. And I was extremely upset about that, and I didn't appreciate it. So, I started driving, just to clear my mind. No speeding, obviously.
Right.
Just driving, calm my mind.
And this was yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yesterday being Monday.
Yes. So I just, took a little shot and just fell asleep.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
How long have you and your wife been married?
Since October.
October of, just recently, within
Yes.
6 months, 7 months?
Yes.
Cassandritz is of Haitian descent and grew up in South Florida, where he graduated from private Catholic prep school Christopher Columbus High. He met Martine soon after, and the couple wed in October of 2017. She soon became pregnant with their first child and was still expecting at the time of her death. Cassandritz currently works as an intake specialist for Delphi Behavioral Health Group, and while his role is to help vulnerable people in need, he's now suspected of gruesomely violent crimes.
What's your wife's name?
Martine.
How long have you all lived at that address?
3 months.
3 months.
Going on. Yes.
When was the last time your wife is missing currently, or hasn't been seen for a day or two?
My wife is missing. Well, here's what's going on.
Okay.
So
are you two having marriage problems, or
not at all?
Okay.
Not at all. We have a great marriage. So basically, I woke up, and I saw a woman at my door.
When was this?
Tonight, actually.
Okay.
There was a woman at my door, and I was startled. Who are you? And she explained to me that I'm Martine's friend. She explained to me that you paid for the cell phone. You bought her the cell phone. Do you want her belongings, or should I just throw it out, or burn it? She gave me those options, and I said, well, I want it. I mean,
now it's like 7 o'clock Tuesday morning. About when was this?
5 a.m. or 5 a.m.
Early this morning.
Yes, sir.
A couple hours ago. Okay, so. And
I've never met her before. Never seen her in a day in my life.
Okay.
I was really scared because, like I told the previous detective, that this is why I didn't want to give my address.
Mm-hmm.
For one, because I didn't want people knowing where I live, trying to kill me, 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 beat me up, whatever. I didn't want to be a victim of anything. So
I've got to ask you one thing. Have you ever been treated for mental illness?
Mental illness?
Right.
Do you say I have mental illness?
No, I'm asking you if you've ever been treated for it.
I don't have mental illness.
I didn't think so, but again, I don't know you, so I just have to ask. So the woman shows up. You don't know this woman. Describe her for me.
She's black. She said her name was, I think Shawnee, I think that's what she said. She's black. She has braids, a little short. She came inside my apartment.
Older, younger?
Younger. She looked young.
Like what age?
She looked 19.
Tall, skinny, short, fat?
Short, skinny. And I asked her, how did you come in? She said, I used her keys. I put it down in the kitchen.
Now, she knocked on the door, or you opened the door?
She walked herself in.
Okay.
She walked herself in, and she just explained to me, here, read the text message.
Hold on. The keys, she let herself in with whose keys?
Martine's keys.
There's a good reason why the detective asks Cassandritz if he's mentally ill, because there's no evidence that this friend of Martine's exists, much less showed up at his apartment to bring him her belongings. And while some of the texts he claims Martine sent him do exist, is it possible that someone, perhaps Cassandritz himself, sent them to cover their tracks?
She told me, why don't you check the text message that she sent you? And I opened the text and I read it. And it's basically Martine just saying she's had enough. I've just read quickly, and she telling me she loves me. She doesn't want me to go through anything like that, you know. And I was just stunned, and I said, "Where is she?" And she said she's with my brother, and they're doing it right now.
So this woman says that your wife is having. Was that what she was implying? Like, what's doing it?
So basically, the text message I read was Martine basically saying that. Basically, long story short, I don't remember exactly what was said in the text.
Whose phone is it on?
My phone.
Where's your phone?
I wasn't able to bring anything with me.
I mean, is your phone at your house, or
yeah,
or did you have it in your pocket?
Like, basically, the officers, they stripped me of everything.
But did you have your phone on you? Did the officers take your phone, or was it in the apartment?
It was in the apartment.
Okay.
So basically, I read the text message. She was explaining, her issues with her dad. She couldn't take it anymore. Basically, it was basically a lot of like animosity towards him through the text message. And she basically was like, I did it, And
Did what?
Like, she was responsible for her dad's death.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, she said she was helped, an individual named Juan.
Juan.
Yeah, Juan. And she said she took something about taking care of him too.
She killed Juan too?
She said, yeah.
Had you known your wife to be violent before?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. But a lot of weird things have been happening lately.
Wasn't your wife pregnant?
Yeah.
Despite Martine being 6 months pregnant, Cassandritz expects the detective to believe she went on a crime spree that ended with 2 people dead, including her own father. But despite her fragile state, her husband still believes she's physically capable of pulling it off. Or at least it's what he wants the detective to think.
She's still capable of, still walking, moving,
right,
doing chores. The only thing she can't do is bend. So basically, after the father was missing, Martine's whole demeanor has changed. She basically doesn't want to be out. I told her Investigations wants to come see you. I texted her that because her phone isn't. There's something wrong with her phone as far as calling. And I texted her. I said Investigations need to see you because you not showing up, it makes you look really bad.
And this was yesterday sometime? Okay. Let me ask you this. When was the last time that you had seen her father?
Saturday.
Okay. When was the last time that you saw your wife?
Same day, Saturday.
You didn't see her Sunday? You didn't see her Monday?
I saw her on Sunday.
Okay.
I saw her Sunday. I saw her, today's
Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Did you see her yesterday, Monday at all?
Did I see her yesterday? Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I saw her yesterday.
Where did you see her yesterday?
At home. She's always home.
So you saw her sometime yesterday, morning, afternoon?
Yesterday, I saw her all day up until Investigations told me to come by.
What time was that about?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't remember. It was maybe
before lunch, after lunch?
I'm sorry. I'm really not thinking straight right now.
Yeah, got it.
Let me take some time to think. Because they called me. They called me, and I called them back, and I told them I would come right then and there.
When they called you, where were you?
At home.
And was your wife there with you when they called you?
Yes.
Okay, so
They said they asked me, is your wife able to come? And I forgot I had cuffs. When they said, are you able to bring your wife? And I said, of course, I'll bring her with me.
okay.
And Martine, after I hung up, I approached Martine about it, and Martine said, no, I'm not going because I wasn't there. I'm not involved in that. I was, I don't know where I have to go.
When you went down to talk to them, your wife was in the apartment.
Yes, when I left, she was there.
Okay. And that was sometime in the later afternoon, early evening.
Yes.
What was your wife wearing? Just think for a minute.
She wasn't really wearing anything. She was just under the covers.
So she was in bed.
She was in bed under the covers.
Nightgown, t-shirt.
Yeah, she was wearing a gown.
What color?
I believe it was blue, or the black one. It was the black one. I'm sorry, the black one. It was the black gown.
Why was she in bed that time of day?
She's always in bed.
Oh, that's right. She's 6 months pregnant.
Yeah, she's always sleeping, falling asleep. I have no issues with that.
How's her pregnancy going?
She had a healthy baby boy. I always went to the doctor's appointment with her. Regular checkups. Never missed an appointment with her. I was, very serious dad. I wanted to be involved, and we had plans to name him after me. We had all types of these plans.
It's strange that Cassandritz refers to his wife and unborn child in the past tense, considering he insists they're still alive. And if he doesn't have anything to hide, why is he so reluctant to give police basic information?
The way it ended, I didn't really appreciate that. So
the way what ended?
The conversation with the detectives.
Oh, with the Hollywood.
Yeah, because I came, I showed up, I gave you my side of the story. Mm-hmm. And they started to tell me how, we didn't see a Hispanic man in front of the door or a van, not a Hispanic man of the van. And I'm looking at them, how are you going to tell me if that's exactly what I saw in the background, a van? I'm not crazy at all. I mean, you can have a physician test me. I mean, I'm not mental at all. I know what I saw. I was just very sensitive.
Well, that's an issue that you have with them. But so I'm just trying to sort out the last night.
That's the reason why I was driving around the city. Plus, I felt as though because after they asked me for my address, mm-hmm. And I declined that because I do have that right to decline it. They thought it was suspicious of me to just decline.
Right.
Giving my address. I can understand why, and I gave them my reasoning as far as why not, because I don't want anything to happen to me. Well, now obviously you guys already know where I live. It's now going to be on the report. That's what I didn't want to, that's what I wanted to prevent. So that's why I declined. So I felt as though I was being followed.
That's separate. Separate. I mean, you felt you're being followed by what?
Hollywood police.
Last night?
Yeah. Absolutely. So it started off with me just calmly driving, mm-hmm. Just driving to relax my mind. And then I noticed 2 cars that were following me everywhere, like just following me. Like for example, I would be in the middle section. They would be in the middle section behind me. I would go on the turning lane. They would go there. And then at the last minute, I would go this way, and then they would follow.
And you think those were the police?
Yes, it was regular vehicles.
It doesn't sound like they were very good at following you then if you figured it out. So the woman comes in, she's inside your house, she gives you your wife's phone, mm-hmm. and what else does she give you?
And she tells me where the hand truck is located.
Okay.
So that's...
When was the last time you saw the hand truck?
It was sitting in my apartment.
When you went to the police interview yesterday?
It was in my apartment. So.
And when you came back last night, where was it?
Well, she told me it was downstairs and it had blood on it, and I never had my hand truck. So that's why I took some cleaning gloves because I didn't want to touch all of that. And I just took a trash bag. It smelled really bad, and I just took it.
The hand truck smelled bad?
And I threw it out, yeah.
Okay. And who did this woman say she was again?
I just said, I forgot the name.
How did she know your wife?
They're friends, she said.
Okay. And what?
She said, I'm her friend.
And what did her brother have to do with it?
Her brother wasn't in the apartment. She said her brother is taking care of the situation.
Okay.
About the text message.
Taking care of, what did you take that to mean?
So basically, my wife, after she said that she was, responsible for her dad's passing, she said she didn't want to, something about not wanting to be in prison with a baby, giving birth, losing a child.
She said all this in a text message?
And yeah, she sent a really long paragraph. I had to scroll through.
Is that still on your phone?
Yes, sir.
Now, how do you get into your phone?
How do I get into
do you have a passcode on the phone?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to give me that code? We need to get the message.
Yes, I can give it to you.
What's your code?
But I don't know her passcode. Her passcode, it's...
As long as we can get it off your phone. Yeah. I mean, that's what's important.
1001, I'm sorry, 100495.
Wait a minute, what is it again?
Let me see. Yeah, 100495. Basically, 100495, basically.
Oh, your birthday?
Yeah.
While there's no verifiable information as to whether Cassandritz's birthday is indeed his phone's password, it wouldn't matter much anyway, because now that he's the main suspect in 2 murders, getting a subpoena for his phone records will be as easy as catching him in his many lies. But with all the evidence pointing to him, it's no wonder he's trying to throw someone else under the bus. And considering he most likely knows Martine isn't coming back, she's his perfect scapegoat.
If I understand you right, basically she admits to killing her father.
She talks a lot.
How did her father die?
Her dad?
Yeah.
She shot her. Him. She shot him.
So she says that she shot her father and
the man that helped him, Juan, she says.
And she shot Juan too?
Yes.
So that's 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know, and you think it was the other guy's gun that she used?
Perhaps.
Have you ever seen her with a gun before?
No.
Do you have a gun?
No.
Okay.
And speaking of, so basically another thing she gave me, like threw at me, was the gun.
Mm-hmm.
It came in a box with a bag. And I looked, she before I opened it, she said, you're probably really gonna need this. And I said, need what? And then I opened it, I saw the gun.
Holy shit. Tell me what the gun looks like.
It's literally the gun. It's got like a cylinder type thing.
Okay, so do you know the difference between a revolver?
That's what it is.
And a semi-automatic?
Revolver.
Semi-automatic has...
I know what it is.
Where do you think your wife is now?
Where do I think she is?
Right.
I don't know. That's why I was walking around to see, because after everything was done with, I was walking around to see, where she could have been.
Like what do you mean?
Like in the area. I was walking, and then I just
walking in what area? You're losing me there.
Let's say I live here. I was walking here.
When was that?
This morning. I was honestly just looking for her. And I said, you know what, I'll just, when I'm done putting everything up, as far as the ladder, like throwing it away.
What were you throwing away the ladder?
The truck. It's full of...
Your wife killed her father and Juan.
So it sounds like my wife herself, or she's the type of person that how can I say it? She doubts herself a lot. She's easily scared. So a lot of times
But she would have herself in a 5 or 6 hour period, because she was alive at 7 o'clock when you went to 6 o'clock when you went to Hollywood. She was alive when you got the text message at 9 o'clock after the interview.
The detective lets Cassandritz share his side of the story and finds it riddled with holes. So now it's his turn to respond, and with the facts on his side, he won't hold back, because more than one officer has been on his trail, and what they saw is damning.
I think you deserve me being straight with you. I told you when I came in here that I wouldn't play games to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to do that type of thing. So I want to give you the chance to clear things up. The police were following you yesterday after you left, but you already kind of knew that. When you went to Walmart, what did you buy at Walmart?
When I went, what did I buy?
Right.
I didn't buy anything.
Well, you came out with a bag. I mean, they're going to know. They're going to find the bag and the receipt, and they'll go back to the store.
Oh, gloves, yeah. Gloves.
The rubber gloves.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't
No, that's all right. And again, Cassandra,
I'm sorry, I didn't remember.
That's fine. I like you personally. I find you interesting to talk to. But within the next few minutes or two, you're going to have to make that decision. Either you're going to be straight with me and you're going to give me some reasons, and you're going to get this off your chest, and you're going to start working in that direction. Not only were they following you in the car, but there was more than two. There were several more. They followed you to the store. They saw what you bought. And when you went back to your apartment and you parked the car down at the end, they sat there and they waited. They waited and they watched. And they watched. And they watched. And they saw you come out. And they saw you go down and get the dumpster. They saw you come back. They saw you go down and put the cart in the other dumpster. There wasn't a woman. Just get it off your chest. Tell me what happened. I mean, just let it go. I mean, I understand that shit happens, and I understand things just go sideways, but it sounds to me like you just made some really bad choices and found yourself in a really bad spot. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world, but just tell me what really happened. Like, why?
What do you mean it doesn't mean it's the end of the world?
You know what happened. I need to know why. I mean, did she come at you? Was it an argument? Was it a...
What do you mean it's not the end of the
world? I mean, you're not dead. Although I can look at you right now and I can see that you're sorry for what happened. I can see remorse. I can see somebody who's a grown man who's a little concerned, who's fearful about what's going to happen next. I've never been in your position, but I can tell you from doing this job for many, many years, the only thing that's going to give you some peace, and the only thing that's going to at least start to get you at least, you got to be truthful. You got to be honest. From this point forward, you just got to tell me what happened. You know they were watching you, but you already knew that. You knew that they just didn't happen to stumble upon you. The guys were sitting in the alley for 4 or 5 hours. That's why they called the patrol units to come down and grab hold of you. They've already pulled her out of the dumpster. Out of the one small one. They pulled the hand cart out of the other. They're doing search warrants to go into the house. You didn't mean for this to happen. I can look at you and tell. I can sit here with you right now and know that you didn't mean for any of this to happen. That something happened that just kind of pushed this out of control. That something just started spinning around. But that's what I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me your side. I told you I wasn't going to play games with you. I wasn't going to... I want to be able to go back to the prosecutor and I want to tell him, yeah, but he's remorseful. I mean, you didn't mean for this to happen, right? There's no way that you didn't plan this out. I mean, I say that, but
so when you say that about someone, what typically happens with the person?
A lot of it depends.
Cassandritz's reaction to being accused of killing his wife is strange, to say the least, because instead of emphatically denying it, he asks a seriously suspect question. What will happen to him next if he chooses to confess?
You're not a killer. You're not a killer. I can sit here eating fucking cookies. But something tripped, something flipped, and I want to know what it was. I mean, I want to be able to go forward and say, yes, he was cooperative. Yes, when confronted, he explained it to me. I mean, he said what happened, just like what happened. Get it off. I guarantee you're going to feel better. I can tell you from doing this for 19 years. Just let it go. Otherwise, it's going to eat at you and eat at you and eat at you and eat at you. I know that you did not want to kill your wife. I know you didn't. I know that you didn't. But something tripped. I mean, obviously, she's been dead more than 5 or 6 hours. What happened?
I just need some time to eat my cookies. So
Okay.
hungry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Again, that's all this has come down to now. I mean, this is just your side. I've got all the other stuff. We've collected the stuff. You know how phones work. The phone tracking system, like if I'm sitting here and I send you a text message, it's going to show up on your phone. When I go back and pull those reports with it, now not the regular phone report, but when I pull the report with a court order, it's going to tell me not only where my phone was when that text message was sent, but where your phone was when it was received. And it's going to tell me that within several yards. It's going to give me pretty specific geo areas. We know what's going to happen with if the text message is still on your phone or her phone. We know that the phone was going to be with you. They've been tracking your phone, and they've been tracking her phone. I mean, it's just about, this is the one chance that you really have.
Why do you say I killed my wife?
Because she's dead. Because you put her in the dumpster. And you know you did. And then this is what we could sit and play, and you're entitled to continue to play this out. You hear me out. Hear me out. Yeah. But you're entitled to that. You're entitled to play this out. But it's time for you to be straight, and it's time for you to come forward and say what happened. Same thing. I mean, it's time. It's, you made a terrible mistake, whether she pushed you into it, whether she cornered you, whether she verbally, physically, whatever, but you made a bad mistake, and there's no real correcting that mistake, but there is a getting right with it. And you could do the same thing as some people do. You could say, look, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not going to give you peace in here. It's not going to give you the peace. You just got to be straight and tell me what happened. Like, why? I know it was something that just, you seem like a pretty calm guy. Something just pushed you over the edge, like beyond over the edge. And I think I know, but I don't want to hear it. I don't want you to hear it from me. I want to hear it from you.
The detectives already confronted Cassandritz with enough evidence to put him behind bars for the rest of his life, and all he wants now is a confession to seal the deal. But while he's still resistant to tell the whole story, his next question shows he's getting closer by the second to spilling every detail.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So, with people, not saying that it applies to me, but, with people.
Hypothetically.
People that, are in situations where they've, murdered or whatnot. Is there a possibility of, they can get out? What are those circumstances?
And make sure, listen to me clearly, because I want to make sure that you understand this. There is always a possibility. You understand that I have absolutely nothing to do with that at this point. I can tell you that cooperation and that honesty go a long ways towards that. I can tell you that depending on, let's say hypothetically, that I had somebody in here this morning, not you, and I talked to them and they found themselves in a bad position and something happened and they killed their wife. And they tell me, I've got nothing to say. And we go ahead and we charge them. And we go ahead and we collect the evidence and we prove the phones, we prove the cleanup in the house, we prove this, we prove that, and it goes to trial. There's no remorse, there was no honesty, there was no remorse. Jury does whatever they do and they convict the person. On the other hand, you've got somebody hypothetically that would come in here that would tell you, I can tell you how, you're ready to let it go. Just let it go. What happened? Cassandritz, what happened? How come? Where did it happen?
My life is done.
Where did it happen? Was it in the apartment? Here. This is water. Just let it go. Let it out while you're doing it. Just let it go.
Why are you doing this?
Because we've got to get it out. We came this far. We got to get it out. Look, man, I'm telling you, when I sat here and I told you that you're not a killer, I sat here and I told you that I can look at you and I can see that remorse. You're crying, you're breaking down, man. You're sorry this happened. Tell me what happened. Let me put it down. Let me get it on the record. What happened? You didn't plan this out. Was it in the apartment?
I'm gonna get in prison.
Don't even think about that. Let's think about getting this stuff right. When I walk out of here today and when I'm typing this up, I want to be able to say that although there was some initial confusion and there was some initial misinformation, that when confronted, you did the right thing. You said what happened, and we went forward from there. Even though I can guarantee you absolutely nothing, and I'm not the one to make any bargains or deals with, I can tell you that if you're honest with me, I'll go to the prosecutor and I'll make sure that they know that, just like I've done that hundreds of times in the past.
Can I please have a moment, about 2 minutes, please?
But I'm going to sit right here with you. Are you going to be straight with me? See, but this, Cassandritz, this is, you're getting ready to make the mistake that other people have made. The problem with you taking a moment is you're in that preservation mode and you're trying to figure out how to put the best spin on it. And what happens is when you do that, you don't come off sincere, you don't come off honest. And that's all I want. I want the honest truth. I want the straight truth of what happened. Are you going to tell me what happened? Just let it go. Let it go. I'm going to give you the same respect I have from when we first walked in here. I can tell that you're not a bad guy. But you got to tell me what happened. What day did it happen? This is Tuesday morning.
Exactly last week.
Last Tuesday?
Sorry. Monday.
A week ago. Your wife's been gone for a week? Okay.
I treated her just like I wanted to be treated. I gave her attention. I gave her respect. So much respect. I showed her love. I showed her what it means for someone to really love you. You know, I did everything that I would want to have done to me. And she wasn't doing that. She was hurting me a lot. And this is the first time I'm actually like expressing myself because I hold it in. It's been going on for months and months and months and months. So one day I finally decided to just get it off my chest instead of keeping it in. I said, Martine, you know you're hurting me, right? And she looked at me and she said, why? And I told her why. And then I told her what I just said. And then I'm being very honest with you.
That's what I want.
It's everything I'm saying is the honest truth.
At this point, that's all I want. That's it.
So I told her, you're hurting me. And she asked why. And I explained it to her. And she rolled her eyes and she just disregarded what I said. And I said, you don't care? And she looked at me in the eye and said, honestly, I don't feel the same way that you feel. I don't care, she said. And I asked her 3 times to make sure. So you don't care? No. You don't care? No.
Now that Cassandritz has finally come out with the truth, it does little to paint him in a good light, because it seems like his sole reason for murdering his wife was because she didn't show him the respect he thinks he deserved. But while that excuse may make sense to him, it'll fall far short in a court of law. So as his chilling story continues, so do his pathetic excuses.
I woke up in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom. And I looked at her sleeping and I was like, you don't care? So I went into my car, got the gun, and I shot her while she was sleeping.
Where did you shoot her?
We were sleeping in the living room. And
what part of the body?
Yeah.
How many times?
Just once.
You felt bad right away?
Of course. I felt really bad.
Whose gun was it?
I felt so bad. I didn't mean to do that. But I knew I did. And I knew now that's it. I'm done.
Whose gun was it?
I went online. I did whatever I could. I just had it there, because she was having a baby. And I just wanted to have it there, just in case. If anyone, just wanted to protect my family.
Did she say anything, or was it quick? Or?
It was quick. It made a loud noise. It scared the shit out of me. I didn't expect it to be that loud. I didn't expect her to so much. I couldn't. I couldn't take it back. I couldn't take it back. It was done. So I went to sleep in the other room. I couldn't look at her. I just went to sleep.
Cover her up? Did you cover her up or leave her there?
I left her there. I was so upset with myself.
Now, what
I
were
felt
she
bad.
was laying on the floor?
She was laying on the bed.
What did you do with her?
So, slowly, little by little, I cleaned the bed, threw the sheets out, threw the bed out.
How'd you get the bed out?
Well, I deflated it.
Oh, it was an air mattress.
I folded it. I threw that out. And then at that point, she was on the floor.
Where'd you throw the mattress out?
I threw it in the trash. And then it came down to her body. I tried so hard to get her up. I couldn't. She was heavy. She's, I felt bad, but I was so scared of the consequences as well.
I understand.
I didn't want to go to prison. I didn't want to go through it. It was a mistake. So I did everything I could to try to get her out. It was just a goal to get her out. Before I took her out, when I finally was able to take her out, I actually even with actually kissed her on her forehead. Before that, because she was so heavy, I tried, I tried to as best as I can to do it one by one. I was very desperate to just get her out, because of the consequences. I was very desperate.
While Cassandritz is being vague, the detectives know exactly what he means by getting Martine out of the apartment one by one, and so do the detectives who were forced to find her remains. But now that he's confessed to the reasons he killed his wife, a new detective enters the chat, and the conversation moves to his other senseless crime, murdering his father-in-law.
So what happened, Mr. Bernard? Right? What happened?
I was responsible.
Okay. How were you responsible?
I had the gun prepared on the couch.
In the house?
Yes, sir.
When you went over there on Saturday?
Yes, sir.
2 o'clock-ish, if I remember correctly?
Yes, sir.
On the 9th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How did you have the gun prepared on the couch? Like it was on you, or was it on the couch itself?
It was on the couch itself. The reason I did that is because I made a mistake, with my wife, and I was really desperate. I wanted to really not be, in this consequence. So, I sat there and I tried to think of how this can be presented. So I got the idea, because I knew, that if he came up deceased,
Right.
by another deceased person, it would cancel each other out, and no one's responsible.
So did you shoot him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where did you shoot him?
I believe it landed on his neck. I believe so.
Like in the side here or straight in?
I believe it was straight in.
Okay, like
That's how it looked.
that?
That's how it looked.
One time?
Only once. No, sorry, twice.
Twice?
I'm sorry, twice. Once on the neck and on the back. And the reason I did that was because on the neck, it went off. And then I saw him still moving, and I panicked, and I did it again.
Where did you do this in the house?
Martine's old room.
Did you walk up behind her and do this?
I didn't have the guts to do it. I knew this was something that I would have to do if I wanted to get myself out of the situation. And every opportunity that I knew I'd gotten to do it, my conscience, I basically, panicked and just didn't do it.
No, you're a human.
Yeah, I'm not that type of person to do something like that. Some people can just walk up to someone and just shoot. There's, no emotion about it. But I just didn't have the guts to do it. And I remember I put it back down underneath the pillow.
On the couch?
On the
Or on the
couch.
bed?
On the couch. I sat there, took a deep breath, and I said, this is something, I know you don't want to do this, but this is something that has to be done. It's selfish, but it was something that's how I was thinking. It's something that has to be done. If I don't want to be just in prison for Martine. So basically, I closed the door and I locked it temporarily, took the keys, threw it away.
I took the keys for that particular bedroom and threw it away.
Yes.
Okay.
And when they left, I took his remains. I put it in the dumpster.
We're talking a dumpster, a garbage can.
Yes.
Right. With the wheels, like the city garbage cans.
Yes, sir.
Where
Are you asking me all these questions so you can use it against me?
I'm actually asking you all these questions because all I want is the truth.
To use it against me?
Well, the truth is what it is. I mean, let's think about it. First of all, this is going to eat away at you for the rest of your life once you get it off your chest. Number two is, do you think that your wife's mother,
Say it again.
your wife's mother,
That thing is my wife's mother?
no, your wife's mother,
Okay.
did you think about the traumatic event that's really happened to her? Well, at least that she's aware of
Mm-hmm.
in the last 24 hours. You can imagine the pain that she's suffering. Okay, I mean, you told me yourself what a nice lady she was. She was good to you. She cooked you food. I mean, of course, in-laws, if you will, you're always going to have some kind of snafu, right? Just because life is life. But do you think she deserves to go through all that?
While Cassandritz may say that now, perhaps he should have thought of that before he murdered Yves Bernard's husband, daughter, and grandson, and now he'd face the consequences of his crimes. Cassandritz Blanc was charged with 3 counts of murder and 2 counts of a dead human. He pled guilty to all charges and was sentenced to life in prison. We hope you enjoyed today's video. 85% of our viewers aren't subscribed, so if this is the kind of content you come back for, just hit subscribe. It's the single biggest thing you can do to support the channel. If you want to keep watching more, check out one of the most intense cases we've ever covered right here, or catch up on our latest upload right here.